On this edition of Talking Preps, pleased to be joined by Buck James, the All-Arkansas Preps Coach of the Year, the head coach of the Bryant Hornets, back-to-back state titles for the Hornets. Coach, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you guys having me on the show today.
Hey, we're thrilled to have you. So, how are things with your team? Obviously, things have opened up back in Arkansas to a degree. You're limited in what you can do. So, what are you able to do with your football team right now?
Well, it feels like we're just started over from nothing, to be honest with you. But we're getting the weights in. We're getting some ball catches and doing some agility, mainly a lot of core strength and just getting the kids to be able to bend their knees, hips, and ankles, and shoulders and elbows. That's really our main focus. This was the first week that we were able to get any length of time, and so it's been sort of a learning curve for all of us. So we have 150 kids on our football team, and so we've got 6 groups coming in 1 hour a day, and we get here at 5:30 in the morning, and we leave after lunch. So it's been a grind for sure.
I can imagine 150 kids coming out. That speaks well for the enthusiasm and excitement about your program, because those were not numbers that you had when you first started, correct?
Well, we were in the upper 90s, to middle 80s to upper 90s when we first got here. The numbers have increased, but this year is different because we had just started off season, and we didn't have that wave of people that think they want to play football, don't know if they really want to play football, but want to give it a try. So we're really in that stage right now. Hopefully, we can keep all our kids, but some of them, this is the first week of high school football practice they've ever had here, and so they're learning what it's about. But I'm proud of the 46 seniors we have on our football team, and when you have 46 seniors, that can bode well for you for as a mature team.
When we're trying to get to phase two in Arkansas, you're limiting what you could do with core strength training.
Well, at some point, we got to be
Yeah,
able to get in the huddle.
yeah.
And, I think football is all about the huddle and, the camaraderie of the kids and stuff. And right now, I mean, it's like we're trying to, at some point we got to get in the hub, Blair, and we've got to be able to install our offense and our defense. Can do things in shell areas and things, but to really get the chance, team camps were always big for us, 7-on-7 for big for us, and that was a great learning curve in spring football. And so we're doing all this without any of that, and that's a huge disadvantage. And just us trying to be able to put some things together without actually playing the game of football has been our biggest hurdle.
How long do you need to be able to do that? I mean, what's as late as you can go calendar wise and still be ready for that opening game on August 28th in the Salt Bowl?
Theoretically, I would like to have anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks minimum of good football practice.
August 28th is really not that far off. For those who've never been a part of the Salt Bowl, how would you describe that experience from your perspective?
A little of both, Blair, but atmosphere, and it's electric. And having the two teams, same community, ball game, and all the things that go with it, it's a special game for our kids.
And I noticed you've got new turf this year. Or actually, let me ask you first about this, the hashtag 212. I see that everywhere on things Bryant Football. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it's when water boils, and you can say that you're trying, you can say that you're giving a great effort, and really, the water can be hot at 210 or 211 or 200 degrees. You're talking about hot water, but be able to work at 12 degrees is an opportunity for water to boil. If water will boil, it produces steam. If steam can power a locomotive, so we use it as an effort thing, and to for our kids to understand that just trying their best is not enough. It's all the other things that go along with this, the things that off the field, things in the meeting rooms, the things in the weight room. It's not just the football part of it; it's the camaraderie, the teamwork, the teamsmanship that kids got to have to be successful, and being able to buy into the coaches and be unselfish. Those are things that I think are 212.
Excellent. And we looking at some video here where if it comes up, you got the new turf at the Everett Field. It looks phenomenal. Brian is just rolling right now. How do you maintain the status of excellence that you have established there?
Well, you have to have high expectations. We demand our kids to give, like we said, 212, the extra effort, the extra degree of effort. And we lost one game from 7 through 12 last year. And,
Wow.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was also burned in a day. And, we've got to be able to go out there and reload. We lost 38 seniors off of last year's football team that were really good football players. And we lost 35 kids off the team before that. So we've lost about 75 players in the last 2 years who were a big cog of what we were doing. And now it's next man up. Our kids got to understand it's their job, their turn, their expectations. The table's been set. And just because you were good last year don't mean you're going to be good this year. And it has to be a mentality. Football, more so than probably any sport out there, it's a sport that it's collision, it's contact, it's a physical game, and you have to go through the trials and tribulations of getting knocked down, getting back up, and doing your job. And I think our kids have got to understand that we've built something here that's really special in Bryant, but it's also got to be something that we understand our purpose, our role, and what our expectations are. And I think every kid's got to understand their role and what it takes to be successful, and then be able to take coaching. And that includes the parent piece, to be bought into their kids and putting them in the best situation that they can be successful, and give them an opportunity to be successful and off the football field.
I remember talking to you a few years back when your first year at Bryant. We were down for the Bryant Fayetteville game, and you kind of had a long-term plan. Are you ahead of where you thought you would be right now, or are you where you thought you would be at this point?
We're ahead. We're way ahead. I mean, to say we won back-to-back state championships, we've been to semifinals every year we've been here. I would say we're way ahead. But I had great football tradition when we got here. We didn't invent football at Bryant. Football was being played well, and we just were able to take it to another level. And really, Bryant's won 8 to 9 ball games a year for the last 10 years. So we just had to find out what it was wrong to get us to the next level. And the weight room, what our kids have been able to endure and be able to push themselves to make themselves the best they can be, are things that are giving us the edge. And I don't care what anybody says, you got to have good players to be a good coach. And we didn't do this without great players. And, you've got to have them in your stable every year. And those guys have got to buy into what you're trying to do. And like I said earlier, they got to be unselfish, and they've got to play at a high level. And they're fixing to find out what it's like to be the hunted. And each and every week, we're at the point now we've won 18 games in a row, and people are going to be shooting for us every Friday night, and they're going to give us their best effort. And our guys have got to be able to accept that challenge.
What's the biggest hurdle in getting guys to accept that challenge? Because everybody talks about the rise to the top and the journey, but you're there at the top. So is it harder to maintain when you're at the top, or is the journey harder?
Well, I think maintaining it is, because I think once you have your eye on the prize, I think that's part of the process, and getting there and doing it, and then trying to be able to maintain it is definitely one of the most difficult things, because it's harder to be the hunted. I think you're going to get everybody's best shot. Everybody's going to try to knock you off. Everybody's going to try to earmark you for the opportunity to be able to to set their program in the standards and expectations that they have. There's been a big turnover in this classification and in our league, and people are trying to adjust and monitor, do something different, and try to make themselves better than what they can be. 7A football is big business in the state of Arkansas. It's a lot of things that go into it. You have to have a lot of pieces that fit the puzzle, and be able to do that is not an easy job. And if you look over the history of it, not a lot of people have ever repeated, and definitely nobody's ever three-peated a state championship at this level. So it is a very, very high task for our football team.
No question about it. Well, Coach, you have time real quick to play our quick quiz.
Well, I'm not very good at that kind of stuff, but I'll give it a shot.
All right, here we go. First place to take the family would be a restaurant or to get a haircut?
To get a restaurant, to go to the restaurant.
More likely to be in your playlist, rock and roll or country?
Rock and roll.
Last movie you saw at the theater?
Oh, it had to be a Disney movie. It's been so long. I take my kids to see movies. I don't get to see movies I want to say. I'm going to say I'm not real sure which one it was. To be honest with you, I don't know the names of them. I just go with my kids.
I understand that. And finally, more your work done in the garage or in your yard?
Oh, definitely my yard.
I think everybody agrees on that. We're waiting for the garage for another time. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Congratulations on your success at Bryant and continued success, and hopefully we'll see the Hornets on the field this fall.
Blair, I appreciate you having me on. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.